It's 3 o'clock. You're watching the newsroom on TV 360 Nigeria. The International Organization for Migration, IOM, says an increase in violent attacks in Nigeria's northeast has displaced 59,200 people in the last 3 months. The UN Migration Agency warned in Geneva that northeast Nigeria's displacement crisis had continued due to increased sophistication of attackers. The agency noted that armed extremists, notably Boko Haram militants, had contributed to a decade-long humanitarian crisis in Borno, Adamawa and Yobe that had spilled over into the Lake Chad region. The head of ECOWAS Election Observer Mission for the 2019 elections, Ellen Johnson-Sirleaf, has met with the INEC chairman at the Commission's headquarters in Nigeria. Sirleaf says the purpose of her visit is to meet with all the authorities in the electoral process, and it was to understand better what she had read on the process so far. She said the main program for the mission will begin next week when she and the full team return to Nigeria. A federal high court in Lagos has fixed February 7 to continue the trial of former Ekiti State Governor Ayodele Fayose over alleged 6.9 billion naira fraud. The case, which was earlier fixed for Wednesday for continuation of cross-examination of the fifth prosecution witness, has been shifted to Thursday. Fayose was arraigned by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission in October 2018 alongside a company, Spotless Investment Limited, on 11 counts. The Academic Staff Union of Universities, ASU, has conducted a referendum to decide whether or not to suspend its 3-month-old strike. The national leaders of the union had directed its zonal coordinators to meet and conduct a referendum across the nation to decide on the offers of the president. According to the union, the referendum is focused on what the federal government had offered the union to call off the strike. President Muhammadu Buhari has assented to the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Act for 2019. The act establishes the Federal Competition and Consumer Protection Commission as well as the Consumer Protection Tribunal to try violations. The law is to promote economic efficiency, maintain competitive market, and protect the interest and welfare of consumers by providing them with wide variety of quality product at competitive prices, as well as prohibit restrictive or unfair business practices in the country. The federal government has signed a Memorandum of Understanding for the domestication of production of Nigeria's international passports. The agreement was signed between Iris Smart Technology Limited, an indigenous company, and Nigerian Security Printing and Minting PLC at the Ministry of Interior in Abuja. The domestication entails that production of e-passports will be done in Nigeria alone and will no longer be done by foreigners. The Central Bank of Nigeria says it has financed 568 agricultural projects valued at 577.3 billion naira under the Commercial Agricultural Credit Scheme. According to the Apex Bank, 577.3 billion naira was disbursed for the project through 20 deposit money banks as at the end of the third quarter of 2017. President Donald Trump has vowed that the United States would outspend Russia on missiles without a fresh international accord after he ditched a landmark Cold War treaty. Trump's warning during his annual State of Union address cemented fears of an emerging arms race, with Russia hours earlier pledging to design new missiles over the next 2 years. The U.S. last week started the process of exiting Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, saying that Russia has been violating the pact through a new missile system and ignored repeated complaints. And finally, FIFA President Gianni Infantino is set to serve a second term after World Football Governing Body said on Wednesday he would be the only candidate for June's vote. The 48-year-old has been in charge of FIFA since February 2016 after succeeding the disgraced Sepp Blatter following the corruption scandal which rocked the organization. The election will take place on June 5 in Paris ahead of the Women's World Cup. And that's the latest from the newsroom. Thank you so much for watching. I am Fidalia Agoncha.